Hello and good morning, and welcome to the Brothers in Influence podcast, where we stand to encourage, inspire, and add value in the areas of life, leadership, and community. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode 10 in season 2. Already 10 episodes deep. I happen to be a guy by the name of Ian Williams, your purpose coach, founder and CEO of Reconcile Consulting, as well as coaching and therapy services, where we strive to help purpose-driven leaders take their business, scale their impact to another level through leadership and team development. And I happen to be shoulder to shoulder with the man, the myth, the legend, the professor, growth coach of Greater Lexington,
Yes,
Gerard
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, let me just say, welcome back, brother. You've been missed, man. You've been missed. Yeah. Hey, but yes, this is your man, the professor, the AKA the leadership locksmith, the growth coach of Greater Lexington. Hey, look, I help entrepreneurs, business owners get from there now to the next by bridging that gap using value keys of leadership, right? Always looking to help them stop working on their business and start working on their business. So, man, as always, it's exciting to be on here. We were two. Was me and Shate last time. Now it's me and you doing it. So we shout out to our man Shate. He's on the road traveling right now. He didn't ask me if I wanted to go. I don't know if you got an invite in, but I didn't get no invite.
Oh man, I didn't hear nothing about this until
yeah. He just rolled out and then
a trip to New York.
Yeah, no invite, no nothing. I've always wanted to. I ain't even been to New York yet, so that was on my bucket list. No.
Hey man, big shout out to our bro Shante. Safe travels. I mean, there's a chance he still might join us, honestly. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out, man. So, brother, what's been going on?
Hey, the struggle is real, man. Sometimes we just need to, slow down, reflect, pause, right? Because sometimes we just get going and just, right? Like prime example this morning, man. I'm getting ready for it, now, and just it's always, when you're trying to do something or try to prepare or try to line everything up so you can make sure you're in the right set of frame of mind and everything, then that's just when it's one thing after another. Like computer stopped working. And I'm like, okay, well, let me try to do this. Like, it's just one thing after another. It's just like a chain reaction, dominoes, man. So, but outside of that, man, just that crazy moment. And we've all had it. Outside of that, week has been great. It's been phenomenal. It's been a good week, man. Just being able to get out and just do what it is to do. Had an opportunity to share with the young professionals here in Georgetown at the Chamber. So that was great. So just being able to have a week of just being able to do what it is I do all day, every day, right? Pour into people, bless people, give value. Hey, man, that's what it's about. Right?
You know what? It kind of sounds like you kind of transitioned at some point from your career to your calling, bro.
This is why you were missed, brother. This is why you were missed. I love that. He slid that in there too. Very professional, very drop the mic moment too. He said, "You know what? Yeah, but you know what, bro? You are absolutely right. Yeah, and not even that I transitioned. I'm still in transition, right? I'm still in transition because again, I think it's steps, right? Success isn't one big step. It's consistent steps, right? Consistent decisions and choices that we make day to day, moment to moment, hour to hour, like whatever that looks like. Like we make choices and decisions every day. But if I know my goal is to get from my career to my calling, then my steps should be ordered, right, towards that goal. So yeah, absolutely, man. I like that. Yep. I'm transitioning, right, from my career to my calling.
Come on, bro. I think I like what you highlighted there. That it is a journey. But I
Mm,
also want to commend you and go ahead and give you your flowers, man, because the mindset, the majority of the
yeah.
journey is the mindset. You've already got the mindset needed
Mm,
to not only operate or function to some degree, but to have success, to find success
yeah.
in in that space. You know,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, and that's the thing about it too, man. When we're talking about going from career to calling, we're not saying that this is automatically going to translate to you leaving your 9 to 5. Like ultimately, if that's what your dream is, then we expect and we will support you moving in that direction as long as what you have to offer can support that.
Hmm.
But at the
Hmm.
same time, like going from career to calling is about basically being reaching your full potential and being your authentic self in whatever environment you find yourself in.
Yeah. You know what came to mind when you said that, because you're right. Some of us think that going from our career to our calling is really getting away from that 9 to 5. In essence, bro, what I felt you saying was, it's not even like you said, it if it makes sense to do that. I think a lot of us are we can find out that it may not necessarily be stepping away from our 9 to 5, but it's
Mhm.
reprioritizing, right? Or like you said, it's the mindset. Maybe you just be in your 9 to 5, but we're not looking at our 9 to 5 the right way. We're not utilizing that resource correctly,
Right.
right? It could be that stepping stone. It could be that doorway, that opportunity, right? That can lead us to, again, that next level of our calling. I think it's one of those things that it's always we continue to move forward in that direction, but it's the things that are placing us in that direction, right? And I think sometimes, I know for a fact, um, my 9 to 5 right now, right, as a professor, it's actually helping me. It's propelling me. It's actually giving me the tools I need to actually do that. So,
Well, that's it.
yeah,
Would you consider being a professor a 9 to 5?
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Ultimately, I think what we can attest is that
Yeah,
become aware of a lot more opportunities, right? When we say
right.
like, when I sum up something and describing it as a 9 to 5, I'm literally thinking like you clock in at a
Mm.
certain time, you get a lunch break, you know what I'm saying, and you got to go home sometime in the evening and hopefully get some time with your family before you get up and do it all over again. Um,
Right.
and so to continue what we're saying though, like I think what really where the rubber really hits the road in that context is whether what you currently do, whether it's a 9 to 5 role or not, actually aligns with where you want to go and who you are called to be.
Mm.
If there is alignment in your current position, maybe you just didn't realize it before, and all it requires is a shift in mindset, then boom, this could be the start of an amazing career in that space where you never thought it was possible that you could be this and do that and accomplish this and
Hmm.
achieve that. But because you're now operating from a standpoint of these are my areas of giftedness and these are my areas of passion where I can show up every day and really be excited about what I'm doing and give my very best. Um, then that's a shift. That's a version of a
Hmm.
shift from career to calling, right?
Yeah.
As
Yeah. Yeah.
opposed to I'm in this space and it's exactly what I don't want to do. It's the last thing I
Mm.
want to do. I'm just doing it because I need a paycheck, to keep the lights on. And so part of that journey may be transitioning out of that and figuring out what it is that you can do that can make sure the lights are stay on, but also that you can show up every day and be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. No. And I love the fact that you gave clarity to that, right? Just what that whole aspect of 9 to 5 looks like, because the reality of it is, you're absolutely right, right?
Mhm.
It's really putting you in that box, so to speak, of you clock in, right? You get your lunch break, right? Make sure you follow all the labor laws, clock out at
Yeah.
5, right? At home, do all that, right? And it's almost becomes one of those things like, that quote unquote autopilot, right? Because again, you're trying to survive, you're trying to take care of your family, you're doing whatever's necessary, right, to get the means you need to be able to just make it from day to day. But like you said, you know, once we make that mindset shift, you know, even that 9 to 5 or that job, that opportunity, I can, and I know you can contest this, and I know I can. Every job that I've had up to this point, has led me to the point I'm now. Like I was having a conversation with my first lady yesterday. What's the day? It's Saturday, so not yesterday, Thursday. Right. I had a conversation with her Thursday, and we were talking about something, and somehow we got to the subject of, you know, just where I'm at today. Right. She was just basically asking me how I was doing and just how things were going, how growth coach is going, blah, blah, blah. And it hit me, bro. It really did. Like, I was like, well, you know, everything's going great. But then I like immediate, like it was like a film roll, right, in my mind as I'm having this conversation, and I'm thinking about like every job or everything I've done up to that point, just and everything that's kind of steered me to where I'm at today. And she asked a very specific question. She was like, well, do you think everything that has happened in the past has got you to where you are now? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. She said, do you think that the decisions that you made in your past have led you to the point that you are now? I'm like, yeah, I think so. She was like, well, do you think that if you would have made a different decision or choice, would it that led you to where you are now? I'm like, I don't know. Right. It's like, were all my decisions the right decision? Were all my choices the right choices? Was it because it was the right choice, or it was the wrong choice, or what I thought was the right choice led me to where it's like you can get crazy like thinking about.
Right.
But the reality of it is that I am here today, right? In my experiences that I've had in the past, the things that have led me to where I am today have helped me, the good and the bad. Each step was it helped me develop in something. It helped me develop in mindset. It helped me develop in skill set. It helped me to develop in you know, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, like all those different components. Now I can't pinpoint all of them, but I know that everything that's happened up to this point has allowed me to get to where I'm at today. And I think we all can relate to that, right? So
yeah, no, I agree with you, man. You know, it's interesting because where we have arrived at causes us to kind of process those experiences much differently, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of just taking our losses as losses, we look to translate them into lessons, right? Like, whereas, you know, 5-10 years ago, I might not have been in the mind space, head space, or maturity level to do that. But yeah, we just that simple shift in perspective makes all the difference, right? Because I could sit around. I mean, and I think largely for me personally, I think that's the difference between me sitting around regretting some of the decisions that I made versus being confident in who I am right now and where I'm going because of what I've gained from those experiences.
Now, you saw I grabbed my pen and paper, bro. Cause yeah, I had to get that because I couldn't get because I love it, right? And I love it. One of the things, man, that I find, again, just being connected to you and Shantae, being connected to, you know, our Brothers in Influence community, is like, the more we have conversations, the more I connect with right-minded or the like-minded people, right, that have that type of mindset, right? We gain a greater, for me, and I think I even made a post like this, that for me, perspective now is becoming a very powerful ally for me. And I use that terminology very specifically, like perspective is becoming a very powerful ally because it allows me to gain a greater understanding. Because perspective is all about through our ability to see things and gain more information about it so we can then gain a different understanding. But it's funny because you said how our losses become our lessons. But you said specifically that, man, that's a mindset. Like that's a mindset change.
Yeah.
Because like literally when you said that, you know, we hear it like all the time that, you know, our but you can't have success without failure, right? And that we have lessons. But when now I'm going to be looking for my losses because I know that's going to connect me to my lesson. Right. And now you giving me a whole new perspective about a loss. Right. You have losers and we have winners. Right. But if I have a loss, I didn't necessarily truly lose. I just learned something.
Right. Depending on how I respond to it.
Exactly. So now I can just respond completely different. I can look at that loss and be like, ooh, so what do I need to gain from this loss? What allowed me to experience this loss? What was the cause of it? Was I the cause of it? Was like now I can look at that loss and start unpacking it, looking at it. So, my losses are my lessons. Appreciate it.
Oh man. It's yeah, I mean, that's the true essence of it, it's like our mentor says, right? Experience is not the best teacher. You heard it said, experience is the best teacher. Our mentor says it's evaluated experience. If you don't take the time to slow down, pause, and reflect on your experiences, you'll never get everything you can out of them, right? So it's, so much about life today can be wrapped up in just going through it. Like, I just need to get through it. I need to get through it. And hopefully, I'll catch some sunshine and then I can move on with my life. But unfortunately, that can create some problematic situations. If we're not dealing with whatever it is we're going through, right? If we're not processing it, if we're not evaluating it, if we're not even checking ourselves, right? Like, how did I go through that? What were the things that triggered me or set me off or, caused me to react a certain way? And I think that's only more and more pertinent as we get older, right? And I don't know, I'm looking at my son, I'm trying to think, like, how would that work? And I feel like it would serve him well if he could learn that at 6. Like, he'd be set up for life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it's an adult thing versus a child thing either. Because a teenager could, this would be a game changer for a teenager. It's a game changer for an athlete. It's a game, you know what I'm saying? So it really translates to every area of life. But I think I feel a greater sense of urgency just because, I'm in the time where things need to happen. Like, stuff needs to happen right now. And so it's just important for me, as I'm raising a son, as the family continues to grow, not that I need to be perfect, but I want to be a man that at least tried.
Yeah. What I love what you said, man, is because you're right. Like, I mean, you got little man, he's 6, right? I got my youngest, he's 11. I got my oldest, he's 20, right? And I think the thing about it is that we have to plant those seeds. Now, yeah, we would have loved to say, and I ain't gonna say that those seeds weren't planted for me, right? But it's not just planting the seed. We got to make sure that we go through the whole process, right? We want to plant the seeds of being able to really gain that next level of understanding, that next level of just being able to evaluate our experiences, right? Yeah. And gain the lessons early, right? Again, our mentor, the book, right? Sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. Same process, right? Same concept. But instilling those type of seeds into the mindset, and then we have to water them, right? Hey, look, listen, honestly, if you're watching, if you're listening to us now, that is what we're doing now. We're hopefully, prayerfully praying that we're dropping seeds, right? That we're sowing seeds into whoever's listening to the podcast right now on live, or who's going to be listening to it later on. Every podcast that we do right up to this point is nothing but planting seeds. We're just giving you our experiences. And you know what? If I could just be completely transparent, we're evaluating our experiences right in front of you. You're seeing the process. That's right? True. Because we're walking through it. We're seeing, and here's the thing, every experience, as we continue to grow and learn, we can go back to an experience that we've already evaluated and gain a different lesson. Again, it's like reading a book, right? I read the book once before, but when I read it then, I wasn't the same person I am now. And when I go and read the book now, I'm going to look at it from a whole new different lens. Why? Because my perspective is now become my ally. it allows me to see things differently, so I can grab a different understanding, so I can become better. So even like you're doing for little man, and I'm doing for my children, and literally anybody that we come in contact, right? We're adding value by value seeds, right? We're planting them. Our mentor did it for us. He planted it, right? And then going through the process of being connected to collaboration with other people, other networks, other communities, other groups, right? That's why we're so adamant about Brothers in Influence and what we're doing in our community. It's about connecting so we can then plant the seeds. Others can plant seeds in us, and then we can all water it together. Like there's no better way to maintain a garden than the more hands we got in the garden with the right mindsets, right? We can be able to go in and really nourish that, grow that, cultivate that, so we can actually really gain some true value in that. I know I went into a little tangent. My bad.
No. You know, you don't have to apologize. First of all, brother, let's we're gonna deal with this publicly because we family. You need to stop apologizing. What you demonstrating that passion we've been talking about, because you in transition. You in transition from career to college, right?
Yeah.
So that's just an example. That's just an example. You got a little excited about what you're doing. Ain't no reason for you to apologize for that, bro.
Yeah, I get a little hype.
That's what we want, though. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine, like, if you showed up to work every day so excited about what you just get hyped up in discussion.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you in there, like, this is your thing. Like, you love this, like, from your core. This is an expression of who you are, right? So, like, I don't know, man. You know, we be in spaces, and I think when you're out of alignment, when you're in spaces, that's when you feel like you need to apologize. When you have historically been in spaces where you are not in alignment, where you haven't been free to be yourself, you haven't been free to show up as your best self and just be excited about, you know, what you offer and the subjects at hand. Then it's like, man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off like that, you know. But when you in alignment, bro, you ain't gotta apologize.
Yeah.
And if there's any space, bro, that you in alignment, this
my man, you're right. I love you bring that point up, right? So here's the thing. Too often we do exactly what you just said, right? Too often, right? Not as often as I used to. Every now and then again, right? I do what I just did. I apologize. Not understanding that, again, it has nothing to do with what I feel like I'm overstepping, when actually I'm actually stepping into what actually I was there to do in the first place, right? I then align myself specifically with whatever that is, right? And the thing about it is, bro, what I love like about what you said is that it's never by chance. It's never by my doing, your doing, anyone else's doing. It's only by God's doing that we get into situations, we get into rooms, we get into spaces that, again, something ignites, and then you get into alignment, and then God's like, okay, boom, I'm about to use you because you now are getting where I need you to be, right? And it's, yeah, I appreciate that. I thank you for that, because now I recognize that. Now, I'm gonna need you to hold me accountable when I just like you did publicly, right? Like you two-piece me real quick on the podcast, like, bro, quit.
I mean, it goes both ways, man. Because you know, like you said, you know, it's a journey, right? We haven't always been here in this space, and so for however long we've been working in our careers, we've likely found ourselves in spaces where we've had to apologize, and people have gladly accepted that apology. Because, you know, like, oh yeah, you did overstep. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? But really, we're just trying, like, we're trying to. It's like flashes of our areas of giftedness, right? And maybe and because it's just a flash, it may or may not bubble up at an appropriate or inappropriate time. But it's at least a hint at what you're capable of. So like we want to help you. You know, if you're listening to us, we want to help you operate from a place where you be excited and show up as just like you excited to get up in the morning because you know you about to go make the difference in the world that you feel you are meant to make. And here's the thing: it doesn't mean that this transition is just that simple, right? First of all, you got to figure out what that is, which is the part I love, like that when the light bulb turns on and somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, I can really do this thing! Like I'm capable of this, and this is, and I'm excited about it." But at the same time, there may be there's likely a process of you growing into it as well, right? Because it's something that you weren't aware of prior. It's likely somewhat underdeveloped, but there's so much beauty in that process as well, right? There's so much to be gained, like in the journey itself. Like we often look at what we want to do, our dreams, as the destination being the prize. I would suggest that while the destination is great, the journey itself is the prize. Because just think about it, how fulfilling it would be for you to realize what you were meant to do, what you are gifted and created to do, and then just start on the process of becoming. And all of the things you will gain, so some of the things that you will give up, because it's just dead weight in the process, right? The process of becoming, the people that you will meet that are in alignment with where you're going and are there to either just support you, to uplift you, because now you're not pushing against the current, right? You're going with the current.
Right.
That's a whole different sense of relationship there. You know what I'm saying? Because oftentimes when we come out of spaces and people don't understand what we're trying to do, and that's a struggle, and they don't believe in us. They're skeptical because they've never seen whatever it is you feel like you're called to do done before, and so there's a void there. But then when you step outside of that space and outside of your comfort zone, and you find, oh well, there's other people out here who are in pursuit of purpose, who are learning from their experiences and their losses, but they keep pressing because the lesson from the loss was in alignment with their. Come on, man.
Okay, so you just come in just. Come on, man.
Bro, I'm just saying, like, and this is, I think this is just me being excited about what I'm passionate about, what I feel like.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And it don't even have, like, this is our stuff, right? This translates to anything. You know what I'm saying? If you in IT and you just get excited about computers, bro. Yep. You know what I'm saying? What aspects of IT could you function in, make a difference in the lives of the people around you? Like, come on, bro. It's limitless, really. It's just a matter of finding the right community. And what I said a couple weeks ago, it's been a while, but like, there's somebody out there doing the thing that you wish you could do and succeeding at it, but nobody can do it quite like you can do.
Yes. Man. So yeah, you dropped a lot, but the one thing you said in the very beginning, right? Like, again, getting into alignment, and then those flashes, right? Whatever we're doing, we get those flashes of our giftedness, right? Our flashes of giftedness. And it's funny because, at some point you will be swimming upstream. And this is why you're going to be swimming upstream, because you have to go against the current sometimes in order to gain the muscle, right? And gain the experience, right? And also just even identify specifically how those flashes of giftedness are going to lead to the bigger aspect, the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Right. Because here's the thing, like you said, bro, like, the only reason why we can speak with the authority and the passion that we're talking about is because we were swimming upstream. And even that sometimes, depending on where it is and what environment, what opportunity, you might be swimming upstream again. But guess what? The thing about it is, because you've done it before, you can do it again. And it's necessary. Because I even think for us as Black men, we get discouraged easily when we get into a space that doesn't agree or align with who we are. And then we automatically might step back and think, well, maybe Maybe this isn't me. Maybe this isn't my gift. Maybe this isn't my call. Maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Maybe I'm out of position. Maybe I'm out of alignment. Right. But you don't know if you're out of alignment or in alignment until you start and continuing doing and following your heart and your passion that's going to allow you to identify that alignment, allow you to get into those right spaces. Yeah. And it's amazing how, even for me, so last week, me and Shantae were talking about just open doors, opportunities, right? That with being able to step into those rooms. And this is just a great segment piggybacking off of that, because the reality of it is the only way that we're going to find or even stay into a room that we're not, so that an open door, an open opportunity has allowed us to walk into, is that we might have to be uncomfortable. And the reason we're going to be uncomfortable is because, again, we have to walk into that giftedness that we're still developing. We're still identifying. We're still trying to figure it out. We're still trying to understand what it really means. Now we know it's us authentically, but we're trying to figure out how does it fit, right? It's that piece of the puzzle, right? It's that small piece of the bigger vision.
Mm-hmm.
A small piece of the bigger vision. So every opportunity that we get leads us to the next opportunity. Every opportunity that we get exposes another aspect of our giftedness. It might even just be a flash. It may not be the whole gift, but it's a portion. Something aligns, something grabs your attention. And then you'll find yourself in spaces or opportunities that's going to be like, ooh, I like that. And you don't need a lot. You could be in a room full of 100 people. You just need that one person to come and be like, hey, I like what I'm seeing, what I saw, what you said, what you did. Can you give me a little bit more about that? Or, hey, can we talk about that? Hey, can you help me with something? I don't know what that's going to look like. But sometimes we can't run from it. We got to run to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. And I think there might be an opportunity to like just kind of dig into this idea of alignment a little further.
Mm-hmm.
Like part of my process as a coach, and I've referred to myself as like a purpose coach, you know, because this is part of what I get excited about, just that process of discovery, right? Helping people discover who they are and where they can find alignment. And part of that process for me is, exploring the values, like values versus your beliefs. And I think so much of the coaching process is really kind of separating the two, because, the beliefs can be positive or negative, right? Right. We can have some limiting beliefs. There are belief systems or BS belief systems in place that hinder us, especially if we've been conditioned to just show up and earn a biweekly paycheck, or only do what we were told we could be, or there's certain beliefs that we hold about ourselves that often hold us back, and that need to be addressed. And then there are values, and values are things that are often expressed but never articulated. And so part of the, what needs to happen is we need to take them from just an expression to an articulation. Like, what are these things that, in life that are just most valuable to you? What are the most important things to you as an individual? And then it branches out, right? You can go as an individual, you can go as a couple. If you're married, you can go, you can function from values from a profession standpoint. But ultimately, the point is to get you operating from your most authentic self, right? If you can say, these are my top 4 or 5 things that are most important to me in life, period. Right? And that sounds difficult, but it's not really. It's there because the answers are already in you. And then, it's not saying that other things aren't important. It's saying that these are the most important defining things. Once you have that articulated and you have clarity in that area, man, that is a compass that will serve you for the rest of your life. And so, that's kind of one of the things that has really freed me up, because I'm a type of person that's like, I want to I want to figure out what the right choice is. Well, I never had a way to discern what the right choice was, aside from, what people told me. Of course, I want to give a disclaimer. I'm a person of faith, you know what I'm saying? But see, that's the thing. Faith is one of my values.
Mm.
So as a person of faith, whether that might mean a process of a combination of things like prayer and seeking godly counsel, reading my word, and things of that nature. Okay, I'm saying that's one of the most important things to me. All right, I need to be doing that, and that's one of the things that keeps me in alignment. All right, so, but the idea is when I'm out in a secular space or I'm out functioning in the world, I'm in the world but not of the world. Some of those decisions weren't always that clear, especially when it came to things like her career. And so, some of the things get a little bit more foggy, right? And I know I'm supposed to provide for my family. Proverbs goes so far as at some point it says, a man that doesn't work don't eat. I know I need to be doing something, so it's just, and then, growing up in church is like, well, I know that I'm meant to do a certain work in that space. So maybe this is what I need to focus on. But what I found myself doing is showing up in that space as one person, showing up at the 9 to 5 as another person, and not being able to reconcile the two. Right. I'm just showing up over here at the 9 to 5 just to make sure that the lights stay on. But then I'm showing up at church, trying to achieve or be or whatever.
Right.
And so at some point in my journey, I realized that it was just really important for me to reconcile the two. Right. I didn't like not being me wherever I was. And so if I can teach and communicate in one space, why am I not teaching and communicating in another space? If that's really my gift. And then, what if I'm a gifted communicator, what career opportunities, what job opportunities does that translate to? Because it was never meant to be limited to one space. It was wherever I show up. If this is my gift, why am I not operating in my gift? Why am I stifling my gift for no reason? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I hope this is coherent. I'm going off the dome right now.
But yeah, bro, it is. I was just going to go ahead and just wrap it up. This was Brothers in Influence Podcast. Thank you for doing
One of my gifts is communication. And I'm not saying I'm a perfect communicator. But I do feel that this is an area I'm gifted in, and therefore it's an area that I'm going to continue to work on. And if I do that, whether I'm in XY space or AB space or DC space, boom, I know where if somebody calls me to speak or communicate, I know I can do it.
Absolutely. And I love it. Right. Like, again, you're not perfect, right? But you're perfectly in pursuit of your purpose.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I think we established that in season 1, man, perfectly in pursuit of purpose.
Yeah.
Right. Because there is a difference. Right. And it's just interesting how we try so hard to be that perfect person, that perfect being, to have that perfect skill set, that perfect. It's not perfect. There's no. I don't want to say this, but I do want to say this.
Okay,
like,
all right.
Yeah. Perfection is it's not that it's not attainable. I think it's really just about how we prioritize it or how we use it. Yeah. Like, again, perfectly. I'm not going to practice to be perfect, but I'm going to practice so I can try to be as perfect as possible. Right. Let me get off that, because here's the reality. Like you said, you're a communicator, you're gifted in communication, you're gifted in so many different things, but you don't want to just use that gift in just one space. Right. Just like you said, man, like for me, I mess around and just ask God. Don't get it tripped. I asked God specifically, like, bro, what is it that you want me to do? How do you want me to live the rest of this life? And he told me, like, I need you to teach and lead, teach and lead, teach and lead. I remember him saying that, and I was just like, yeah, you got the wrong one. The wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. But yet he didn't reveal to me, bro, you've been doing it. Look at what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Look at where you're at. Right. And Ian, bro, I'm telling you, once I identified it, and then once I accepted it, right? So there's a difference. Because I think a lot of times we know what our giftedness is. God tells us what it is, and he's shown it to us, and we know it, right? We, even in our hearts of hearts, we know it, we see it, we show up in it. But until you accept it and own it, then that's where the challenge comes in. That's where we experience those moments of losses, those moments of failure that we feel as if I'm out of place, I'm out of alignment. Nah, once you're in alignment, once you accept it, you have now stepped into alignment. Because now you are trusting, you're walking in faith from that perspective. You're now looking at it from not by my power, but by his power. I can then use the gift that he gave me. Because look, here's the reality. I never saw myself as a teacher, especially not higher education, to be teaching at the college level. I didn't think I was smart enough to do that. But it wasn't until I got the opportunity to do it, bro, changed the whole game for me. Because I understood at that particular point when I did it scared, I did it unsure, I did it not knowing completely what I was doing. But when I got into that space, when I got the opportunity, when I did the work on the back end to prepare for myself for class and got into that space, I'll be honest, that hour and 15 minutes when it was over with, I'd be like, what happened? Right? Because I then got into a space where it just aligned, it happened, my giftedness comes out. And this just opened so many other opportunities for me. Again, being connected to you, being connected to Shate, right? And there's all the other communities and other open doors. And like, bruh, and I'm gonna say this and own it, bro. I'm a 2-time author, right?
Hey,
I wrote
come on, bro.
Two times.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And that was just because, man, of the opportunities. And each opportunity that came, I did not. I'm not a writer. I don't. Who's gonna read what I write? Who's gonna do that? Just like who's gonna listen to me on this podcast? I don't know.
That's those
I don't know.
systems.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to. But guess what? I won't know until I do it.
Hey,
right? Hey, yeah, I won't know who's going to listen until I get out here and start talking.
Yes, sir.
Right? I don't know who's going to read it until I start writing.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's all those things, man. I don't know. I didn't got into it. You know, I started swimming upstream, then I went to the downstream. I don't know, bro. I just think the biggest thing that I'm trying to say right now is that even in everything that's going on, we just have to believe in what it is that we believe in and our ability to contribute, right? We have that. We have something and we know what it is. We feel it. And then even when we step into it a little bit, it's just so, it's right. It aligns.
Yeah.
And anybody who's listening, who's watching, you have everything you need to do whatever it is that you're trying to do, to be whoever it is you're trying to be.
It's already in
and
there.
It's already there. Yeah. And as you continue to step out in it in faith, scared, confused, right? Don't know what to do, standing at that crossroad, left, right, or even a roundabout. A roundabout, you got 4 different ways. You can just keep going in circles, bro. Just ride around that roundabout. Just keep going. But eventually, you're going to have to get off. Eventually, you're going to have to make a decision. Eventually, you're going to have to take an exit. It might be the wrong one, but guess what? All roads, never mind, let me not go there. But they do. All roads lead to somewhere. Right? All roads lead to somewhere. But you got it's not always the road least traveled. It could be the road that's always traveled. But it has to be traveled by you. because again, you're going to see something, you're going to gain something, you're going to run into somebody that you haven't ran into before. But it's just because you didn't take that road that you didn't run into them. Right? It's just because you didn't take that road, you didn't take that turn, you didn't take that opportunity to go down that path.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we just have to get off, take the exit, go there, so we can identify specifically what that gifting is. I'm a teacher at heart. I teach, I lead, and I do it unapologetically, and I do it authentically. There ain't a space, it ain't an opportunity that I don't find myself. And I sometimes have to, you know what I find myself doing sometimes, bro? I find myself pulling back a little bit, because I'd be like, oh, okay, hold on, this ain't, wait a minute, hold up. be talking, going in and trying to get a loan from the bank, and then start going into a whole teaching session, right, with the loan. You'd be like, dude, what you doing? Yeah, but I really do think that that I love this conversation around alignment, right? And identifying specifically, alignment and mindset. That again, we all have a mindset. We've all got some type of giftedness that we just need to start aligning it with that mindset to develop those lessons from those losses that allow us to then put together whatever that looks like, to be able to not just help ourselves, but then turn around helping ourselves to then turn around and help others.
Yeah, man. And as we look to wrap up, I just want to touch back on the whole 9-to-5 thing. And I want to juxtapose it next to entrepreneurship, right? Because we've talked about 9-to-5 a lot, and how it, going on this journey doesn't necessarily mean that you need to leave the 9-to-5. And I think we did well enough, kind of breaking it down. I want to just kind of give you guys some insight on how I landed in entrepreneurship. Because by and large, I would not be considered a natural entrepreneur, right? I'm naturally cautious, whereas entrepreneurs are traditionally risk takers, right? And so everything that I've talked about up to this point, we talked about the giftedness. I talked about how one of my gifts is communication, right? And how that might translate in different spaces. But really, that's just one of my gifts, right? And so what I look at is that I have, and you have, a unique combination of gifts, right? We have a unique combination of gifts. Remember how earlier I talked about how, there's somebody out there doing what you want to do already, but nobody can do it quite like you can do it. And that's really the essence of how I landed in an entrepreneurial space, right? Because I find that I'm operating from a unique standpoint, where both Sherrod and I are called to teach and lead, but as entrepreneurs and leaders, there's contrast, there's alignment, right? And there's brotherhood, but there's also a difference. There's spaces that he's going to go and function in that I'm not called to, and vice versa. And so while I look at my particular unique combination of gifts, I can say, hey, is there a position in a corporate 9-to-5 space or otherwise that this could translate to, where I could show up and be the best version of me every day? And there may be something out there. But for me, the answer was owning your own company, starting a movement, finding like-minded entrepreneurs like my brother Shante, my brother Sherrod, and building community around the work and supporting and uplifting each other. And we're at a place where we're finding success, where we say we're on the journey, we're in transition. Yes, but at the same time, because you're living it out, bro, you're already there. There's some we're just scratching the surface, right? We haven't dug up all the treasure that could possibly come from this journey. And so, yeah, there's still some progress to be made, but because you're already in alignment, you're already cultivating, the seeds are being sown, and not only are they sown, they're sprouting.
Springtime.
Yes, sir. So, I just want you guys to keep that in mind, man. whatever that looks like for you. And that's something that we're all willing to partner with you on the journey. If you're a brother out there and any of this resonates with you, we've got a private group where we're cultivating community. We invite you into and just kind of rub shoulders with us, man. Just kind of connect with us. We connect with you, and we want to do whatever we can to encourage, inspire, and add value to you, and your unique journey, right? And we're not trying to duplicate who we are as far as what we're doing, but we want you to find what your calling is, what this looks like for you, and we want to just encourage you. We want to uplift you, right? Because whatever it is, nobody can do it quite like you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, the 9 to 5, the entrepreneurship. Yeah. One of the things that I found with entrepreneurship, especially for me, that once I understood that entrepreneurship is really my ability to understand that it's a mindset of being able to, again, look at what I can create and what I can innovate. Right. As a motivator, educator, and innovator, I always look to try to find the hidden treasure in every situation. I try to not just look at the surface of something, but see, is there a deeper meaning? Is there something that is there another gem in the dirt? Is there another gold nugget down there? But the only way that I'm gonna be able to find out is if I continue to kind of disrupt, right, the dirt, disrupt the surface, move things around, put myself in positions and find opportunities that make me uncomfortable, but bring out something else in me. And the reason they bring something else out in me is because of what I've already done. So then when I step into that, even if I'm afraid, even if I'm uncertain, I lean into it because of what I've done. And then I also know what it is I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go. So entrepreneurship really for me is really looking at that mindset of being able to identify, okay, how can I get better? How can I make this situation better? How can I identify this, create another mindset, get another mindset that allows me to add greater value to this situation, which is going to add greater value to me. That's going to propel me into that next opportunity. That's going to propel me and open up another opportunity for me to then add value to someone else.
Yes, sir.
We want conveniences, but we don't want to deal with the inconvenience of something. There's a trade-off to everything. We want the convenience of success, but we don't want the inconvenience of growth. Right. Left, right. Front, back. Up, down. There's always the opposite. But sometimes the opposite is necessary. Sometimes you gotta go left so I can get right. Right. So I think it's every opportunity is very unique for us to, again, grow ourselves, to be ourselves, and really reach that authentic opportunity for us to really just be who we are called to be, do what we've been called to do. Right. And again, as we started this whole conversation, from career to calling, I'm in transition, just like you are.
Yes, sir. So here's our challenge to y'all, man. Think about what your unique gifts are, your unique combination. Like, it may not be, the individual gifts may not be unique, right? All three of us that frequent the Brothers Influence podcast are communicators to some degree, right? But what are your unique combination, and how is that expressed through who you are, right? Because personality also comes into play, right? And how you deliver something. And so, yeah, just think about that. And what could it look like? What does it translate to? Because it translates to something. That's my guarantee. It translates to something. And figuring that out goes a long way to just helping you identify your sweet spots. right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, communicator in space A, communicator in space B, communicator in space C. Maybe one of my next things is I'm a builder of people. I'm a natural encourager. What spaces are, can I encourage? I can encourage in all three spaces. So why would I limit it? Why would I limit myself to one?
Yep. Love it. I love
it.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Any final words?
Yeah. So my final words would be this: it's okay to be you. Right. It's okay to be you, and it is also okay if you're still in the process of finding you, because if I be transparent, so am I. Right. I'm always in process. I'm always in transition. But here's the thing: in order for you to continue to stay in that process and even get in that transition and to even identify specifically what it is you do, you got to do something. We have to do something. So do it scared, right? Do it uncertain. May not even be, you don't even know what it is. Just do something. Guarantee you'll find your way. You'll find that path. You'll find that sweet spot. And then once you do, shine. Shine, shine, shine.
There it is. This is episode 10 of the Brothers in Influence podcast, where we stand to encourage, inspire, and add value in the areas of life, leadership, and community. We appreciate you rocking with us today. Find us on Facebook at Brothers in Influence and YouTube as well. Stay locked in. We got a lot more in store. Peace.